Am I the a-hole for telling my fiancé if I see her friend again, I'm calling the cops? Plus update. Me, 29 male, and Erica, 27 female, dated for 2 years and have been engaged the last 4 months. After we got engaged, Erica moved into my house. I still pay the mortgage, while she pays for utilities, groceries, and household items. After we get married, the plan is to put her on the house so she gets equity as well. Her friend Leah, 27 female, and her have been best friends since high school. I don't particularly like Leah, but I've also been cordial as I know she's gonna be in my life. My issue is Leah thinks of my home as hers. Couple examples. She always brings her boyfriend over and he's a sketchball. She talks to me in a very disrespectful way in my own house, like I'm a guest, and she/Erica own it. One day I went out to my garage and some of my tools were missing. I checked my camera and Leah/boyfriend were in my garage with Erica and took some tools with them. I asked Erica and she said they were just borrowing and would return them. I had to reach out multiple times for them to finally return the tools weeks later. I have a nice wine/liquor collection and I was working late on Friday. While working, I heard some clanking of bottles together. Erica wasn't home, so I went out to see what was up. Leah was behind my bar. I asked what she was doing, and she said Erica told her it was okay to borrow a bottle of wine for her party and that she would pay it back. I told her no, that was not alright, and to leave. I asked Erica about this, and she said, I don't remember telling Leah she could take a bottle, but I might have, I don't remember. I told her at this point I wasn't comfortable with Leah being in my house. Erica sort of understood, but she also blew me off. Final straw came when I wanted to go hit some golf balls and my clubs were missing. I freaked out because I golf regularly and my clubs are my biggest investment. Went to check the camera again and Leah used my garage code and took the clubs. I blew up, called Erica and told her to get them back immediately. Erica said Leah had asked for the garage code to grab some clothes from her closet, and not my clubs. I threatened to call the police but Erica stopped me. Leah kept telling us that her boyfriend needed them for a work thing. I got them back almost 4 days after they were taken and they were dirty. At this point, I sat Erica down and told her that if I see Leah in my house again, then I'm calling the cops. No discussion. Erica got upset saying that it's her best friend and that it wasn't fair to do to her in our house. I said it's a pattern, and since Erica's stuff isn't affected, she doesn't care. I said she can go over to Leah's if she wants to see her. She said she can't do this because Leah doesn't like her apartment, and Leah's boyfriend is always there which makes Erica uncomfortable. I'm now getting the silent treatment and getting called an a-hole, but I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. Am I? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Do not put this woman on the deed to your home. Heck, don't marry her. You don't have a Leah problem, you have a fiancé problem. Time to move on, buddy. Not the a-hole. I agree. OP, open your eyes. Agreed. Erica is allowing this to happen. There are a lot of boundary issues that shows as red flags. The fact that Leah has her code and lets herself in without letting anyone know is a problem. And you can truly see that Leah does not give a single damn. She got outed multiple times on camera, got caught nicking a bottle of wine, and did not care. Leah does not respect the OP. Plain and simple. And Erica is fully endorsing this behavior in their house that she does not own any part of. I'm starting to think Leah did, in fact, have Erica's permission to take that bottle. Erica just backpedaled and threw her friend under the bus when Opie got upset. I wouldn't be surprised if Leah also thought she had permission to borrow the clubs. After all, we know Erica gave her the key/code and gave permission to borrow the tools. Either way, neither of the ladies have boundaries. But this sounds like an Erica problem. Also, I would keep copies of the security footage, just in case, and change the garage code. Already have done these things, but thank you for the advice. I won't give Erica the new code. She has the clicker to get in and out, but I'm not comfortable giving her the code until this whole situation works itself out. If you can't trust your fiancé with your security code, you guys should see someone together before you get married, and have a lot of discussions on your future and how you both see things. And now for the update. I want to thank you all for the kind words and comments. I knew after reading the comments that it was time to come to a resolution. I decided to drive home from work and talk with Erica. When I showed up, Leah's car was parked in the drive. I went inside and they were watching TV. I told Leah immediately to get out. She tried to argue, but I told her if she didn't, then I'm calling the police. Erica tried to get pissy that I kicked her friend out, But I said I'm done talking about Leia because at this point, nothing is changing with that relationship. Sat Erica down and showed her this post. 20 minutes of reading later, I asked her what she thought. She said, "Those people don't understand our relationship or Leia." I knew then that it was over. I asked her to hold out her hand and I took the ring off. She begged, saying she's sorry and she'll cut Leia off, etc. I told her I can't even trust her with a garage code. How am I supposed to trust her as my wife? She's locked herself in our room now and I'm in the kitchen packing up her things. I called her mom and dad telling them about what has happened, and they were furious. Leia's apparently banned from their house. It has been since high school. I didn't know this, but her parents said it's been like this since high school. They're coming this weekend to get Erica and the stuff. I couldn't be any happier than I am right now. A huge weight feels lifted off my shoulders. I felt like if I never made this post, I wouldn't have ever seen how messed up my life had become. Sincerely, thank you everyone. Can't wait to take my clubs out and play around now that I have more free time. Really excited to see what single life brings and can't thank you all enough again. Next story. Am I the a-hole for calling my girlfriend inconsiderate for the way she tested me? My girlfriend told me that she tested me by canceling a date when we first started to go out. It was the date where we were kind of planning to hook up for the first time. For context, she lives in the city while I have an hour drive. She waited until I was halfway to the city before canceling. I remember texting her as I got into the car and telling her I was on my way, and she still waited until I was halfway to the city. She had a lot of opportunity to cancel before I had driven half an hour. The date being canceled sucked, but she told me she was feeling sick, and I told her it was okay and told her to get better. I had also asked her if she wanted me to come over, and she said she didn't want to. She told me that it was a big moment for our relationship as she found that I'm very considerate. But honestly, I get why she wanted to test me, but I really am pissed off in the way she tested me. She had no consideration for my time and effort. It was as if she really wanted to inconvenience me to see how I would react. I told her that it was pretty inconsiderate to wait until I had driven halfway to cancel, and she had been really inconsiderate in the way she tested me. She apologized half-heartedly and then said it was not a big deal and it has been 4 months. I told her it was a big deal to me, and we had an argument about it. I feel like an a-hole because it feels a really small thing to get mad about. Not an a-hole. The fact that she isn't remorseful at all, that's your second red flag. The fact she's made you feel like the a-hole for being rightfully upset, that's your third red flag. This chick is a manipulative, gaslighting trouble box. I think you were right. Dear God, I'm dating another version of my ex. It's pretty bad when the administrator of the relationship test miserably fails it themselves. Even worse when they fail to allow for the possibility that the other person might actually be dissatisfied with them. She should have kept quiet about her little test. Your behavior on that day was appropriate and considerate. Good for you. Obviously, you passed. But now, going forward, when anything comes up, you may be wondering, is this a test? And is this a test? And is this a test? Because yeah, it might be. You need to have a little discussion about this. This is not a small thing to get mad about. Not the a-hole. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for buying a door to my son behind my husband's back? For those who might have been confused, my 35 female husband 46 male believes that until he is 18, our son male 14 shouldn't conceal his room as he is under our care. This has been one of the things straining our relationship lately, as I think that a teen should have some freedom. Maybe not completely out of our sight, but you know, a door at least. But my husband keeps insisting on him having almost no freedom at all. Whenever I bring up the door thing, he just shuts me down with, this is what it'll take him to be a man, and this is how I was raised. So, both my son's birthday and Christmas are coming up, and I decided that he should finally have a door to his room. So I went behind my husband's back and bought a new door, and heard it to be installed while they were both away. When my son came from school, he was incredibly delighted, but my husband didn't receive the news so well. He told me that this is not the kind of decision that I should be making by myself, and that I disrespected his authority, and now he's refusing to even sleep in the same bed as me. I've been wondering if this should have been a conversation rather than me disrespecting his wishes. So, am I the a-hole for going behind my husband's back to get a door for my kid? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. Your husband is super controlling. Scary, frankly. Not only this, but it's mistreatment. When CPS found out I wasn't allowed a door that just had a curtain, and that my mom's boyfriend would sneak down the stairs unexpectedly to yank open at random intervals, it almost caught me naked while I was changing a few times. They went off. Not only is it maltreatment, it's a fire hazard. If you have a house fire, your son has nothing to stop that fire from entering his room before it can get out his window, which would likely result in either massive bodily injury due to burns and smoke inhalation, or at worst, death. The husband is mistreating and putting his son at risk. Some kind of man he turned out to be. Edited to add, please find a safe way to live with your son. Frankly, I'm worried that things will escalate in the way he treats the both of you if you continue to stand up for yourself with your shiny new spine OP. I don't want you trapped in a home with a violent person. No one deserves that. Not stay home. Your husband was the one who made the decision to not let him have a door, without your input, and now you've shown him what that's like, and he doesn't like it. My question is, why have you stayed so long with a man who treats your son this way? Yes, this feels awful, and frankly, I have an insane amount of resentment for any man who seems to think he automatically has authority and dominion over his home as the ultimate ruler. BS. Opie's not a-hole for getting him a door. But if she doesn't realize that this is going to be a never-ending battle in his teens, and that he's going to leave and not come back once he turns 18 unless they get their act together, she's got some very rude surprises coming. Not stay home. There are bigger issues here than the door, which is already a big issue. I believe not having door or any right to privacy is maltreatment. I'm sorry your husband was brought up in an awful home, but that doesn't give him the right to mistreat your son. You had your son at 21 when your husband was 32. That's a concerning age gap. And when it's combined with your husband constantly shutting you down, punishing you and your son for disrespecting his authority, and you feeling the only way you can have a say and do something for your child is by sneaking around your spouse, it all combines to worrying conclusions. I'm worried your husband has an unhealthy totalitarian head of household mindset. There is no excuse, be it upbringing or religion, for his behavior. Think about if the status quo is really what you want for yourself and your child. Last story. Am I the a-hole for canceling a vacation with my fiancé and taking my daughter on a vacation? My daughter Maya, 16, has severe anxiety. She goes to therapy and is on medication, but we still can't push her too hard on certain subjects like school. I've always had a policy that as long as she tries her best and passes, I'm happy. My fiancé has been encouraging her to work harder and get better grades. She usually gets B's and C's, so she could get into a good college. I've always shut it down because she plans on going to community college, then wants to transfer to a local state school and her grades are fine for that. My fiancé made a deal with Maya behind my back that if she got straight A's this semester, he'll take all of us to Disneyland for her birthday. But if she gets a B, she gets nothing. He told her that if I knew about this, I wouldn't let him take us to Disneyland. Maya has been dying to go, so she stayed quiet. I noticed that she's been a lot more stressed out over the past couple months, but she just kept telling me that the classes this year are a lot harder than the past few years. And I know your junior year is supposed to be one of the hardest, so I believed her. Last week was study week before finals, and on Friday, she broke. She broke down crying about how she couldn't do this, and told me about the deal she made with my fiancé. I was livid when I found out. Maya has been a wreck since then. She's barely speaking, doesn't eat much, and has asked me to sleep in her bed every night. She was sent home from school early every day this week because she either threw up from stress or had panic attacks. My fiancé, Maya, and I were going to go on a 5-day ski trip, but when I heard about a bribe, I canceled the hotel and booked a last-minute trip for Maya and I to go to Disneyland and Universal Studios this week. She busted her butt this year and deserves it. My fiancé is expecting me to pay for half of the cancellation fees and for half of the activities that can't be refunded. And we got into an argument and are not speaking at the moment. I know this relationship is over, but I wanted to know if I was the a-hole. Not the a-hole. I see what he was trying to do, but this is obviously not the way. He messed up all the progress Maya achieved via therapy and hurt her more than helped her. Actually, what does your fiancé expect her to do if she gets to good school? If she cannot handle stress from high school, why would you stress her even more with very demanding uni? It's all messed up. I'm glad you stick up for your daughter, enjoy the trip, and have awesome mother-daughter experience. I hope you said a girl will start at the community college for 2 years. That is actually a smart way to do it. Much cheaper as well. Much better for a student who needs support and struggles with anxiety issues she's still getting under control too. Not stay home. Your fiancé manipulated your 16-year-old daughter behind your back. Even if he truly believed that getting her to improve her grades was for her own good, it's totally inappropriate to have gone about it in this manner. And of course, you had very good reasons for your parenting decisions, as we can see from her suffering now. Furthermore, convincing her to keep a secret from her mother is incredibly dangerous. She's now more at risk from predators who use the same tactic. You shouldn't have canceled the ski trip. You should have simply informed him that since he arranged the trip under false pretenses, he is on his own. You will not be attending or paying for any part of it, since you now have to take care of your daughter and the mental anguish he inflicted on her. Not stay home. Your fiancé manipulated your daughter into lying to you, which seems like would never have happened to begin with if it weren't for him. He set a precedent in his relationship with her that it would be okay to do something behind your back, as long as the outcome was favorable to him. He endangered her mental and physical health for his faulty ideology that going to a standard 4-year good college is the only way to become successful in life. If this ploy would have been successful, what would have been the next thing he felt he needed to correct in your parenting behind your back? I wanted to say you should pay the fees, but the more I think about it, the more I feel it should be payment for him manipulating everyone.